Hey guys, this is Tashina from Logical Harmony, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite books with you guys. These books are ones that I would call like self-care. Some people might call them self-help. Some people might call them motivational, inspirational. For me, it's all the same thing. These are just some books that I've read that have really had an impact on my life in one way or another, and they're books that I keep going back to. So I wanted to share them with you guys. I only have a few here. I tried to be really picky about what I talked about because I wanted to make sure it was books that that I just really wanted to share with you guys. So if you're interested, I will have links to all of them down below. The first book is Spirit Junkie by Gabrielle Bernstein, and this is a book that I have read so many times, and you guys know I love Gabrielle Bernstein. I'm constantly referencing her. Anytime my friends are like, hey, I'm having this issue going on, or I'm having this problem, I'm always like, there's a Gabby B video for that. Let me send it to you. Or here's this audiobook. Here's this Gabby B meditation. Like, she has such an amazing wealth of knowledge and just such an amazing person. I've seen her speak several times. It's so powerful. I can't even think of another word to explain it. But I think it's safe to say that this book it changed my life. It changed the way how I think about things, how I think about myself, how I think about the world. And so every time I'm having like a not so great day or just have some stuff going on, I pick up this book and open to a page and just start reading. I try and reread it pretty often, but I think if you are someone who is new to self-care or new to Gabby B, check out this book. It's amazing. I can't suggest Spirit Junkie enough. This is kind of a recent find. It's the Soul Searcher's Handbook by Emma Milden. This was suggested to me by my friend Marissa, and she's been really into it. I've been enjoying it, so has Applesauce. She likes to chew on this one for whatever reason. This book is kind of like an introductory guide to all these different things that relate to like self-care and spirituality. There's like a section on aromatherapy, a section on crystals, a section on like spirit animals, like all these different things that you just might want to get familiar with, because once you start like reading these books about self-care and spirituality, a lot of these things are mentioned. And I think this book is helpful because it helps you figure out what resonates with you and what you might be interested in. There's like a section about yoga, just tons of different things. And I think it's just a really helpful book to have and to read through to figure out either what you're going to be into, or if you're someone who's been into this stuff for a long time like I have, it's a cool way to get a refresher of like, what might I be into now? So I think it's great to revisit. I don't think it's meant to be like a sit down, you read it cover to cover. So it's split up into a bunch of different sections. And I like to sit down and just like pick up a random section and read it. So it's pretty cool. I definitely suggest checking it out. Another favorite of mine is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This was a book that Justin was really into for a long time, and I read it, and I think it's like a must read for everyone, especially if you do anything that is in the public. Like, I'm constantly recommending this to friends of mine who are bloggers or YouTubers because there's so many very good chapters. There's one especially on not taking things personally that I think is incredibly important for everyone to read. But I think too, if you're in a space like this, it's important to reread that one all the time because you'll need it. It's just, I don't know, it's like 4 different things that everyone should keep in mind as they approach their life. And I just think it's such practical advice, but at the same time, it's stuff that a lot of us aren't taught, and that a lot of us, we need to be taught these things. This is like a good book for everyone in life. Everyone should read this. Another favorite of mine, more Gabby B, surprise, surprise, is Miracles Now. And this is an awesome book by her. The way that it's set up is that, I think I've talked about this before in a video, is that it's supposed to be like you open it to a page, and whenever you've opened it to, that's what you need right now. So it might be like a little mantra. It might be a reading. This one is Your Presence is Power. And so it'll have a couple pages of content. Sometimes it'll give you like a breathing exercise or a yoga exercise. And then it'll give you what she calls a miracle message, which is basically a mantra. I just think it's really awesome. It's really helpful. Either, first thing in the morning or anytime where I'm feeling like a little yucky, I just pick it up, open it up. It's a good pattern interrupt. And I find that often whatever it tells me to do usually helps me process whatever I'm dealing with at the moment. There is also a deck of cards you can get that comes with just the miracle messages on them. I have that too. I think you guys have seen that in the background of a lot of my videos. I reference that a lot, But I really love the book because sometimes you need that yoga, you need that breathing exercise, whatever it is. You need a little more than a sentence on a card. So I think having the two together is awesome. And this is another book I think everyone should pick up. And kind of in the same vein as Miracles Now, this is called Find Your Happy. It is by Shannon Kaiser. This is also one that Marissa suggested to me. And I'm not that far into it. So every day it gives you a mantra, it gives you a little bit to read. And then there's like a question or a fill in the blank after. So it's a cool way to just like prompt yourself. And I think it's great to read first thing in the morning because it gives you something to keep in mind throughout the day. And I think it's really great to ask yourself the question at the morning and then before you go to bed. You know, like I said, I'm not that far into this, but I think it's just really helpful, especially if you're someone that is like new to self-care types of behavior and books. This can just really give you like short mini things to help get these ideas in your head, and I think that's incredibly important to make it digestible and easy to do. But I also think this pairs really well with the happiness planner, which I've talked about in a video. I'll link to that below. Just the two combined are a really cool way to start and end the day. And the last book that I wanted to talk about is called Lightening A New Black. It's by Rebecca Campbell, and I randomly purchased this. I think Amazon suggested it to me one day, and I was like, all right, Amazon probably knows what's up because that's where I buy most of my books. I don't know. I think this is another really good book that everyone should read. It's kind of approaching the idea of being a light worker, which basically means you're someone who wants to focus on love and you want to focus on connections between people and spreading positivity and all those sorts of things. It's like her personal story, which I find really inspiring. She talks about where she was in her life and how she decided to make the change to be a light worker and little things like that. So there's passages in here, there's like actions that you should do, there's little like, I guess, poems, you could say, little like prayers, just all sorts of different stuff. The first time you read the book, it's a little bit confusing because there's just so much there and the format changes. But I do think this is a book I find myself going back to because it's kind of like with Miracles Now, where I feel like you can just open it to something and read it, and it might be a chapter, it might be something super short, but it's just good reminders to get you going and get you in that flow. Those are some of my favorite self-care books. If you guys have read any of them, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And if you have any suggestions on books I should check out, leave a comment as well. I'm always looking for new books to read. I think it's really important to always be reading and always be learning and always just like expanding. So definitely let me know if you guys have any suggestions. For more updates on cruelty-free vegan beauty and lifestyle, make sure you subscribe to logicalharmony.net. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Logical Harmony as well. Have a good day.